Am I the asshole for keeping my daughter away from my sister-in-law? During the first 4-ish years of my daughter's life, my husband and I had many fights and struggles. At one point he was living with my daughter and his brother for almost 2 years and we nearly got divorced. My daughter bonded very strongly to his brother's wife. COVID opened my eyes and my husband and I have healed a lot and I am repairing my relationship with him and my daughter. I attend sobriety groups and parenting classes. I understand these things take time. However, he continuously brings my daughter to visit his brother and her wife. If you ask my daughter, she'll say her favorite person is her aunt. My daughter can't help this, but my sister-in-law certainly can. She is always calling my daughter, my baby, taking her on outings, etc. She will FaceTime my husband just to speak to my daughter. She seems to not want to relinquish the place she took in my daughter's life. A few weeks ago I took my daughter to get her ears pierced for her birthday. This was supposed to be a special moment for us, it was the same birthday my mom took me. But instead my daughter started panicking uncontrollably and wanting my sister-in-law. She didn't want to do it without my sister-in-law there. At this point I decided to put my foot down. I have been trying to decrease the visits and the FaceTimes. But now my husband is catching on. I try to explain my daughter needs to spend time with us as a family without outside influences, and she needs to bond with her mother without being confused. He says I am being selfish. I don't see how it's selfish to want to repair my relationship with my child. He says that is unfair to my daughter, and I explained yes it is, but he is making it 1,000 times worse by not ripping off the band-aid. I have worked so hard to get my family back. Meanwhile my husband will not even give me an inch. It's frustrating that I am always made out to be the bad guy when all I want is to fix things. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. You're not trying to repair anything. You're trying to hold your daughter hostage so you can feel like a mommy, without actually having to put in the work. Your daughter refused to do something scary and painful without the adult she trusts not to abandon her. Let that sink in. You don't win your daughter's trust by stripping away everything that makes her feel safe. Just to be clear, you are the asshole. You are the asshole. Your husband is right. You're selfish. Your relationship with your daughter can't be forced by keeping her away from people she loves. I have worked so hard. Meanwhile I am not being rewarded as I think that I am entitled to be. It's frustrating that other people act as though they have feelings when all I want is for them to be players in my life's drama. You are the asshole. Limiting your daughter's relationship with you Sil is not the right way to fix your relationship with her. It's not their fault to bond when you are not there for her. If you stop them from spending time with each other, your daughter might resent you and make things even worse. Sorry, but you sound like you're jealous of not having what they have with your daughter. Take the responsibility of your actions in the past that led to this. You are the asshole. It's frustrating that I am always made out to be the bad guy when all I want is to fix things. Let's get something straight. You were gone for the first significant chunk of her life. There is no, always, on your part in this situation except for being absent. God damn, you're self-centered and self-victimizing. Also, your daughter isn't your property. Of course she bonded with someone else while you were failing as a parent. Kids bond with people who are there for them and don't deliberate do things to hurt them. You're not fixing anything. You just sound like you're trying to play house with a doll and are mad that the doll is an actual person. You are the asshole. Would I be the asshole for not returning $1,000 gift given to me by coworkers for my baby? Throwaway, too long did not read. The title. Me, 34F. Piecing old memories together with new info I just got. Dec. 2019. I tell boss I'll be quitting end of Jan. 2020 to be self-employed. But boss asks me to stay on payroll so he can contract out work to me easily. On my last day, coworkers leave me a goodbye card with $1,000 cash in it. March 2020, I move a few hours away. Last week, Mar. 2023. I see a former coworker who pats my stomach and asks if this is my second. I internally die because she thinks I am preggo. I know I'm 20 pounds over where I'd like to be, and a lot of that is on my gut, coupled with a super curved lower spine that made my belly stick out even before I got fat. I tell coworker I don't have any kids. Haha, I'm just fat. She looks awkward. I feel awkward. 0 tense experience. Would not repeat. This morning I get a call from HR passing on a message from a different coworker asking for the going away cash to be returned, as it was meant as a maternity gift for my baby, and that me, being fat, and wearing shirts that emphasize my belly, was deceptive and I tricked that coworker into thinking I was pregnant. Our says she overheard the convo about me leaving but continuing to do some work in the coming months and took that as my maternity leave. She took donations from the staff under that pretense, and now my fatness and lack of baby-ness is the hot office gossip. Feeling super great about that too. Our says they can't force me to do anything, but it would be nice to return it. Here's the thing. I no longer have the card, but I am sure it did not say anything about, there's a kid inside you. It had 2 pandas on the front that now as I'm typing I do remember there was a big one hugging a smaller one, so maybe it was about babies, but it definitely didn't say anything like, bun in the oven, or, your sex was successful, or, we think you're pregnant. I am certain I would remember that because that's a super big insecurity I've had for the past 5 years since I started gaining weight, medicine side effect, and husband keeps saying, nobody thinks you look preggo, so haha sucks to be wrong hubby. This is a very hollow victory. I'm feeling crushed and upset that the going away gift actually wasn't, and not once did any of my coworkers actually ask if I was pregnant. I don't really want to return the money. The cash is long since gone, but I could pull $1K from my bank to give back. Old boss has also been emailed about this entire exchange posting here while I wait for a reply from him and googling, women's fashion to hide belly fat, and feeling horrible about my body. Not the asshole seems like a sick life hack, to be honest. I'm gonna try it. Could be tough though cuz my beard is going to give me away. OMG, not the asshole. That is harassment. Their mistake in giving you a gift, that they never said was for your PG or baby, is not your issue to correct. It was 100% reasonable for you to think it was a goodbye gift. They don't get to decide goodbye because I'm having a baby is somehow more worthy than goodbye, I'm leaving to start my own thing. I would ignore HR, or tell them what you wrote here. It was a gift, freely given, not coerced from them, with absolutely no mention of it being conditional upon it going towards a baby. Then block them all. Lol, if I gave someone a gift because I assumed she was pregnant, and then she ended up not being, the last thing I'd do is ask for that gift back. That's just rude. As if their assumption is your fault. Not the asshole, I wouldn't return a single penny. They made an assumption and they did it 3 years ago. Your former boss needs to step up here. Also, I'm willing to bet that some of the people who contributed to that going away gift don't even work there any longer. Honestly, they should be ashamed for even asking. Don't let them make you feel badly about your body. People are so stupid when it comes to assuming women are pregnant. And worse, touching their bellies. Good God, not the asshole. That is genuinely so fucked up. They should be absolutely horrified and embarrassed at such a horrendous assumption. But instead this coworker is twisting things to make it seem like you intentionally misled them? First of all, haven't we already agreed as a society to never assume someone is pregnant? Second, even if you did realize it was a baby shower type of card, you're entitled to keep that money just out of the sheer audacity and rudeness of the assumption it was apparently based on. So, no, you would not be the asshole here. In fact, if you were to email all the coworkers the facts, I can't imagine they wouldn't be deeply embarrassed too. If they still want their money back, maybe they should look to the organizer of said gift and request it from her. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he didn't need to share that his wife was in labor in my wedding? My wedding was days ago. My brother attended but his wife didn't. She was nearing her due date to give birth and she didn't come. The wedding was going well. Till my brother received a call from his mill telling him that Sil was in labor. He told me he was leaving and my wife and I were fine with that, but the issue began after he had told one of the guests that Sil was in labor. Word spread out and suddenly, everybody was talking about it, which disrupted the event. Even my parents started calling and there was a huge fuss, which frankly, was unnecessary if my brother just left in silence or made up some excuse. I contacted him later and expressed my grief and frustration with what he did. I told him how the news of his wife being in labor disrupted the wedding and caused my wife to feel like her day was ruined. He lashed out asking how any of that was his fault. I explained how he should have just left or made up some excuse to leave, but he said he didn't mean any harm and that he was in a hurry and worried at the time. He said it wasn't like he announced it and told me I disrespected him by arguing with him about it. We had a big argument and our parents sided with him and told me to get over myself, and are now expecting me to apologize. Edit, I just came back and started reading the comments. First comment, I appreciate the sarcasm, but in all seriousness, I did not expect people to come against me in this matter. I do accept my judgment but still am taken aback a little. The baby is obviously at fault here. Selfish jerk couldn't even wait until after the wedding to be born. What an awe. You are the asshole. What was happening to your brother was completely out of his control, significant and scary. To ask him to conceal that in the moment because it stole focus from you is utterly narcissistic. I'm guessing if his wife was in a horrible car crash and medevaced to the you'd want your brother to keep his mouth shut too? You owe everyone in your family an enormous apology. Told me to get over myself, and are now expecting me to apologize. Excellent advice. You are the asshole. And your wife, too. I look forward to the follow-up post next year where you and your wife complain that the birthday celebration for your niece, nephew has ruined your first anniversary. You are the asshole. What was he supposed to do? Lie to everyone? Tell his wife to hold it in? He came to your wedding during a time when his wife probably would have preferred he was at home and you're butthurt because you think it ruined your special day. If your own brother's exceptional, amazing life event on the same day as your wedding ruined it, then you and your wife have problems. You are the asshole. I'm so over this whole, the wedding has to be the center of the universe for everyone involved, attitude. Would your wife get upset with a guest who suddenly had a heart attack at the wedding? Or an allergic reaction requiring an EPI pen and trip? Shush happens, even on wedding days. The ceremony was over, and it sounds like you were well into the reception. Your brother had his own stuff to be worried about at the moment, and he didn't exactly have time to think through every word he said. The day wasn't ruined. This was a cause for double joy. A wedding and a new baby in the family. It was, however, a little rude of your parents to stay at the wedding but make more than one call to your brother. They could have texted, stepped outside, or left as well. But only a little rude. Am I the asshole for insisting that I be there when my sister gives birth when my wife doesn't like it? Throwaway account. I, 40 male, have a younger sister, Beth, 28 female, who's due to give birth in a couple of weeks in another state. Unfortunately, her jerk of a husband is divorcing her and our mom is caring for our dad after he had his second heart-related surgery. Beth was crying to me one night on the phone about how alone she feels after her best friend had to back out of being in the delivery room due to a family emergency and our sister couldn't get the time off of work from her job overseas. Beth said that her doctor told her that they may have to do a C-section and she was panicking. I let her cry about it for nearly an hour and then Big Brother mode kicked in and I offered to fly out and support her. It was something I did without any real thought, but I meant it because this was my baby sister and she was going through a rough time and told me she was scared. I have the type of job where I can get permission to work from home, and since I'm well liked and respected in the office, my boss was willing to let me do this provided that my work performance isn't impacted. My sister sounded so relieved when I told her the good news and everyone in the family was giving me the pre-verbal pat on the back. The only one who wasn't happy was my wife, Kim, 37 female, who told me that I needed to stay here for the kids and that Beth can either find someone else or do it alone. My kids, Cody, 13 male, Chelsea, 10 female, Connor, 7 male, all know that their aunt is going through a tough time and needs help and said that they were fine with me leaving for a while. Kim insisted that the kids were lying and didn't want me to go, and I said that even if it was true, I was still going because Beth needed me and that I would make it up to the kids later. This caused a fight between us, and in the heat of the moment Kim admitted that she didn't want me to go because she thought that it was weird for an uncle to be present at the birth. This brought up old wounds for me since I was denied access to the birthing room for all 3 of my children as Kim only wanted her mom and sister there. In truth, Beth's baby will be the first and possibly only time I'll ever get to see a baby be born live, and Kim doesn't like it. I snapped back with the aforementioned births of my children and said that if Kim didn't want me to go so bad then she can call Beth, my parents, and my sister and explain it all to them because there was no way I was going to break Beth's heart when she needed family most. Kim is now saying that I'm the asshole, am I? Edit to add. Here is some additional information since people are starting to ask. 1. I don't know all the details yet, but Beth told me that a C-section is a strong possibility. 2. I believe the average recovery rate for a C-section is about a month, so I am prepared to stay that long to help my sister out, but hopefully my mom or other sister can take over 2 weeks post-birth. 3. As previously stated, I got permission to work remotely and I have a lot of PTO saved up, so there will be no loss of money. 4. My flight is 2 weeks from now and I paid for the tickets out of my own personal checking account. 5. Beth's TBX convinced her to move to the opposite coast so she doesn't have anyone she's close to that can help her out. 6. All of my children are over the age of 5 and don't have any special needs. 7. No, Beth's STBX will not offer any type of support that isn't court mandated because 6 months into the pregnancy he decided he was child-free and is angry that Beth wouldn't agree to adoption. Edit 2. Beth does want to move back and we, my parents, other sister, and me, are going to help her after she healed up enough from the birth. Not the asshole. She can have her sister present at all of her births, but when you are there for your sibling it's suddenly weird? Your sister needs someone for support and I think it's a great idea for you to be there for her. Not the asshole. Giving birth is one of the most vulnerable and painful experiences someone can be in. She will need someone there to be her advocate in the event she's unable to advocate for herself. Absolutely good on you for stepping up. It's strange that your wife's hang-up seems to be an uncle being present in the delivery room, when she had no problem having a grandma and aunt in her delivery room, while not letting you be present for the births of your own children? She has no legitimately reasons, and it honestly sounds like she has some issues that are her responsibility to work out. Not the asshole. This isn't about the kids. It seems to be about your wife's belief that men should not be in the delivery room. You are a great big brother, stepping in when all other options were exhausted, and I'm sure your sister will be forever grateful and you'll have a special moment with your niece or nephew. My only caveat is, how long are you going to be gone? Will that put a hardship on your wife and kids? Could you go just for the birth and a short time after, and then maybe her best friend or someone else could take a turn? Not the asshole. It sounds like your wife has some weird trust issues with you. Does she treat you with suspicion in other ways, too? Not the asshole. Your wife has issues.